Hey everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality coming back with here today with some more fun news of the world out there. As you all are probably well aware, or hopefully are aware, the situation in Israel and the Gaza Strip has been going on. Again, at the time of recording, it's been a few days, and I found this article on the Twit Twats, and it just looked like something that I would be interested in talking about because you've seen a lot of demonstrations in cities all across the world the last few days that are in solidarity with the a genocidal group of Hamas. So, and especially in New York City, which is what this article is going to point at, where you had the socialists decided that they were going to stand with Hamas, and that's the group of people that the squad in Congress is aligned with. So, this article again, new place that I found, a compact. So again, it was on Twitter. It says Millennial Socialists embrace atrocities from October 9th. So it says at a Saturday afternoon rally at New York's Times Square, hundreds cheered as a speaker celebrated the previous day's attacks on Israel. Our heroic resistance continues to prove that we will never sit idly while our people are colonized, brutalized, and ethnically cleansed, speaker, a young Arab woman, told the crowd. Well, it'd be nice if she actually was. If any of that was actually true, it's not. So it's just a lie. It says we uphold the right of our people to resist colonialism and imperialism and to return to our land by any means necessary. Okay, so again, she's wrong about 5 different times in 2 sentences, so great ratio there. And it's not your land, by the way. The Israelites and Jews existed before Islam, before Arabs. Uh, so no, it's most certainly not your land. So try again. Says, what means would those be? One video of the weekend attack showed Noah Argamani, 25, screaming, "Don't kill me," as she was separated from her boyfriend and taken captive by Hamas. So I think that was the girl on the back of the like motorcycle or something. It says another showed the naked body of Shani Luke, 30, a tattoo artist from Germany, being paraded through the streets of Gaza in the back of a truck as Palestinians shouted Allahu Akbar. That was pretty brutal. So according to Israeli medical services, 260 bodies were recovered from the site of the music festival from which Argamani was taken. It says, who can describe these shameful acts as heroic? That's the same quote that's over here on the side. And yet the Democratic Socialists of America promoted the Times Square gathering and has lent its support to this rhetoric. 6 sitting members of Congress, as I mentioned earlier, it's Rashida Tlaib, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Cory Bush, Jamal Bowman, Sri Thanadar, and Greg Casar. I know who he is. He's the idiot that did the thing on the Capitol steps where he acted like it was something stupid that he did where he acted like it was a huge deal and everybody was like, yeah, dude, you're not as cool as you think you are. But I don't know who the Sri Thanadar is. They forgot. I thought Ilhan Omar would be a part of that. I guess not. But anyway, it says they belong to the organization which sets the tone for many political intellectuals and journalists. And yeah, and going back to the first line of that paragraph, who can describe these shameful acts as heroic? Like, yeah, if you need to kill innocent people and babies and children, I hate to break it to you, but you're not the good guys. If like you're making a point of doing that, okay, it's not like a casualty of war sort of thing, or like a what is it? You're like like a bystander or something, and just oops, it happened. This is like you're actually making a point of doing that. Yeah, you're the bad guys. So accordingly, leftists on social media defended the idea that change must happen by any means necessary, and that's a phrase that leftists like to use is the by any means necessary. And when they say that, they mean it. So it says Noah Colwyn, a contributing editor of Jewish Currents, compared the attacks to John Brown's raid at Harper's Ferry. Lake Micah, an editor at Harper's and The Drift, hailed the attacks. A near century's pulverized overtures toward ethnic realization of groping for a medium of existential latitude. These things culminate in drastic actions and no need of apologia, he wrote on X. Well, he's an asshole. Says, it is interesting to find an editor in Prestige magazine celebrating bloodshed as a means of ethnic realization. Yeah, except the ethnic realization part is kind of the opposite of what he seems to think it is, and it is fortunate for him that he seems incapable of writing clearly, or he simply might have written "kill the Jews." Yep, because that seems to be another popular thing going around these days, you assholes. This Gabriel Winant, an assistant professor at the University of Chicago, said that criticizing Palestinian tactics was politically meaningless. Well, you're another asshole. Okay, and man, I'd call for your job, but you're probably at home right now, and no one's gonna tell you to go because you're just an asshole and don't know what you're talking about. Says millennial socialists embrace the bloodiest form of Palestinian nationalism. I thought they didn't like nationalism, these leftists. Oh, but if it's Palestinians, I guess it's okay. You just can't do that in America. So it is worth recalling the very different perspective once represented by the DSA's founder, Michael Harrington. Harrington, who died in 1989, started out in the Catholic worker movement, to which he had been drawn by the concern for the poor and rejection of violence modeled by Dorothy Day. As he lost his Catholic faith, he moved towards socialism, an ideology Day opposed, and everyone should oppose because it is an evil ideology. But unlike many on the left, he rejected Soviet apologetics and the vilification of Israel. Not cutting that out. Says in a 1975 interview, Harrington described how many on the left had adopted a third world romanticism that spoke of the U.S. always being bad and the third world always right, which obviously isn't true and it could easily go the other way. Says Harrington lamented the fact that some young Jewish leftists, feeling a need to prove their commitment to socialism and internationalism, had to be more anti-Israel than anyone else, and that's definitely the case these days. Says Harrington, for his part, identified with the Jewish state's social democratic tradition while supporting Palestinian self determination on peaceful terms. Whatever can be said against this view, it is far nobler and more humane than what one currently hears from the DSA and its media on academic allies. Over time, the left's opposition to Israel has only grown, in part because of changes in Western perceptions of the country. What was once seen as a secular nation led by liberals and socialists and embodied in the kibbutzim has now come to be perceived as a religious and right wing. People who regard Western civilization as inherently racist, violent, misogynistic, and unjust have come to see Israel as the purest distillation of that essence of that rotten civilization. Polemics against the Jewish state often double as indictments of other Western countries, particularly the United States. From Palestine to Mexico, all of the walls have got to go, the rallygoers chanted in Times Square. Oh, that's a dumb idea for many, many reasons that we're not going to get into here because this is not about that. So it says, across the street, pro Israel protesters waved a pride flag bearing a Star of David. It was an attempt to recapture for Israel the image of forward looking secularity, but it may already be out of date. It is hard to imagine the Star of David joining the panoply on the Pride Progress flag, a banner that associates sexual liberation with a certain understanding of ethnic conflict. Yeah, it was funny seeing all those pride flags at these things, and it's like, you guys are cheering for the side that if you were to go there, they would throw you off the tallest building in Gaza. Okay? They would end you just for being what you are. Okay, so you're lucky that you're able to do what you're that protesting here because you would not be able to do it there. Okay, so like the level of indoctrination is so understand that the level of indoctrination is so huge that they are actively cheering on people who would murder them upon knowing what they were. Okay, figure that out. Make it make sense, as people like to say these days. Says this week, millennial socialism revealed its moral bankruptcy. I would 100% agree with that. They're still doing it too. Says while videos of atrocities circulated online, its adherents made excuses for kidnapping, raping, and the killing of non-combatants. In recent years, millennial socialists have come closer to the democratic mainstream, but they continue to distinguish themselves by their eagerness to overlook, excuse, or embrace the crimes of Palestinian extremists, which the Hamas is most certainly that. Says in doing so, they forfeit any right they might have possessed to speak, I'm sorry, as enemies of injustice and cruelty. Correct. Yeah, these people don't get to talk. They're the bad guys. They're cheering on the wrong side and they think they're the good guys because what they're looking at it is going, they only see the world in black and white. It's either oppressor and oppressed. That's it. That's the only way they see things. And they see Israel, which is a wealthier area, as the oppressor, even though they have literally zero control over Gaza. And they see Gaza because it's not as wealthy as the oppressed. Okay, never mind the fact that Gaza has been in control of its own destiny, if you will, since 2005 or 6, I want to say. So, instead of, when they get international aid, they decide instead of making the lives of everybody there better, they decide to pursue terror. Okay. So this is not Israel. This is 100% on the Gazans, okay, on the Palestinians living there. So I know I got a little somewhat heated there at the end, but what do you guys think about this? What do you think about these dumbass socialists that are cheering on the exact wrong people? Okay. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.